John Beverly, the Candyman,
Hello, everyone.
the
This is
businessman
John
with a
Beverly, the
conscience
businessman with a
on
conscience. Over at the
LICMC.net
African Bible
Radio
Village, where each one
every
reach one,
Saturday
each
at
one teach
3
one, one
p.m.
day, one building, one block at a time. And today, I would like to, as you always know, I kind of bounce around and talk about different subjects and topics from time to time. Today, I want to talk a little bit about businesses and cooperation working together, as well as how important it is to be a person of your word, to say what you mean and mean what you say. First of all, I want to start off by talking a little bit about different business. Every now and then, we need to be reminded to reach out to one another, to other businesses, in particular Black-owned business. I try to make it a habit when I find that someone either is in business or going in business, I try to make sure that I support them because I believe in treating people the way I want to be treated. We have a tendency to want people to support us, but we don't support them or others. And just as well as I mentioned about craft syndrome, how we have a tendency to, when one seems to kind of get up a little bit and get things going, someone tries to pull him down. But most important, as well as, the cooperation and collaborating with one another, instead of the pulling each other down, we need to be trying to help push them up as high as we can, because as long as we're pushing them up, remember, we're right behind them. So as high as we can push them, the higher we get ourselves. And hopefully somebody see the same need and begin to push us as we push others and support one another. And everybody kind of almost reach the top at the same time, or their business at least begin to grow a little bit better and bigger each day as time go on. Take the time out and just, kind of look around a little bit. And sometimes if don't anyone tell you about a business, sometimes we could do a little research ourselves, find out where other businesses are, what they're doing, and what can we do to support their business, and begin to share and leave information with them about our business and other businesses as well. Like I say, each one reach one, each one teach one. And people don't know if you don't tell anyone. As my partner here, Mr. Marvis Kofi, often mentioned, closed mouths don't get fed. So sometimes if you don't say anything, won't anything ever happen. But we have to work with one another, learn how to work with one another. Sometimes it's not easy all the time, but we still have to strive and still try to work with one another, try to help one another. Every now and then I run across someone that have that me syndrome. It's all about them and what they're doing. As long as you are supporting them, they're okay. But when it comes to the time to support you, either they have something else to do or don't have the time. And it's very important that when you tell someone that you're going to do something, to be a person of your word. Make sure that you do what you say and say what you mean. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, we'll tell people, when you, well, let's just use for an example, when you banking, when you borrow money, the bank expect you, because of your word and your signature, your word, it says that I'm going to pay it. But when you sign, it kind of holds you to the commitment of making sure that you take care of your responsibilities and your obligation. And a lot of time, even when we tell people we're going to do it, even though we sign to indicate that we're going to do it, a lot of times we find ourselves not doing it, but it comes back to haunt us in the long run, because just as well as your word and that signature, that's your bond, But when you don't keep your word and you don't honor the signature that you've signed to commit yourself to that obligation, it, like I say, comes back to haunt you because it messes with your credit. You become, if you don't pay the bill on time or reach those obligations and meet the obligation, you become a bad risk, a bad credit risk, and that's not good because if someone, when they say who was you referred by, and you mention a name, and if you haven't honored your obligation and haven't been the person that kept their word, when someone checked with that other person to see, how did you respond and how did you deal with them? Did you meet your obligations? Did you keep your word? You want them to be able to say, yes, they did. And which, it helps everybody because, like I say, cooperation makes good business. And we should always be trying to work with one another, not against one another. Because, we've been held back for a long time. But right now is the time. We're in better shape now than we ever been. You may not be where you want to be, but remember, you're not where you used to be. You have more today than you had yesterday. And based upon the decisions that you make today brings about the consequences tomorrow. So we have to keep making the right decisions. We have to make up in our mind and keep our word. When we tell someone that, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, be that person that does that. It don't make you feel good. When somebody tell you, I'm going to do this for you and I'm going to do that for you, and you expect that you become, the person that say, well, they told me they was going to do it, so you're expecting it, and when it don't happen, it don't make you feel that good, do it? Sometimes we actually should ask ourselves the question, how would I feel if someone promised me something and they didn't do it? So treat people the way you want to be treated. If you promise a person that you're going to do something, commit yourself to a job, just like when we do the 9 to 5s, we honor that by going punching in. If it's a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, 6 or whatever it is, the boss expects when you to come in. If you're punching in or sign in or whatever, he expects you to do your job while you're there. Sometimes we have a little leisure time where we don't have to work the whole time, the whole 8 hours that we're there. We get a lunch break. And sometimes we're not obligated and don't just have to work the whole 8 hours. Like I say, we have a little leisure time. We might be able to talk to someone or may even take out a little time to go help someone else to do their job because you're so good at yours. And I don't have a problem with helping people. Like I say, each one, reach one, each one, teach one. And that's what we practice that over here at the village. And it shows another piece that we speak about. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you show that you care because when you see someone in need, you reaches out to help them. If they don't know how to do the job, you reaches out to help them and show them how to do the job. And it don't hurt you. Actually, it helps you because if everybody's doing the job the way it's supposed to be done and everybody's doing their job, we often say sometimes many hands make light work. And we want to practice working with others, trying to teach others, even our children. Let's get in the habit. Sometimes kids, they watches us, they watches individuals, they watch their mom and dad, they watch their brothers, and they see how they do things, and they begin to mimic things that they see others do, or their brothers, especially if you got a favorite brother. If you was like me, I'm the oldest out of 10, and some of them looked up to me and some of them didn't. And I had a cousin that I found out some years ago, I wanted to be just like him. And he told me later on in life that he was watching me. So remember, there's always somebody watching you. So you have to be careful what you do, when you do, and how you do things. Because you, first of all, you don't want to mess up yourself. And then you don't want to influence someone else to mess up their lives or themselves from doing what they see you do. My cousin, his name was Tony. His name is Tony, and I just everything he did, from the way he combed his hair, his clothes. I wanted to dress like him. I wanted to wear my hair like him. I just admired him, the way he carried himself. He was my cousin. He was like a big brother to me. He was a little older. And I remember he was a little bigger than, he was older than I, and he was bigger than I was. And he had some shorts one time. And I admired him so. He had bought, some new clothes, and he was throwing some clothes away. And I went in the bag and pulled out a pair of shorts that was his. And I put them on, and they were so big on me, I had to take a string and tie them up in the waist. But I just wanted them because they belonged to my cousin. I admired him that much. And, like I say, when our children, our cousins, nieces, nephews, different people, they watches us. People are watching you. You have to be careful. Everything that you do, be careful. Make sure that what you're doing don't cause someone else a problem if they try to do the same thing that you're doing. And we don't want to get in trouble ourselves. So we definitely don't want to do anything that's going to get ourselves in trouble. But like I say, later on in life, my cousin, one day we was talking and I was telling him that story and we laughed about it. It was funny and really funny because he was telling me how, not in our early age, but as I grew up and he began to see me do things and make different decisions. And we all, make decisions, sometimes good, bad, or different, and we always don't make the right one. But he watched me as well as I was watching him and others and my father. But he said he was watching me and he used to see the way that I was doing things. And was admiring me, to my surprise. And, it made me feel good, but, it was okay. But I was, wow, I never even thought that. I'm looking up to him, and not saying that he was looking up to me, but because of the things that I was doing, I actually had a job at the age of 13 and pretty much been working all my life ever since then. My father and I, we did janitorial work. So we did, maintenance. We clean up buildings. So I learned how to clean. I learned how to mop. I learned how to wax floors, buff them, strip them, pretty much do some everything in order to earn a living. And everywhere that I went, I watched people do things. I used to have a friend that worked at the Greenfield Plaza building, and he sold jewelry. He had a jewelry business out there. I would go out there, and another friend here that I graduated with, Richard Chapman, the Chapman brothers. I watched them and I worked with them for a little while and learned how to sell jewelry, how to buy jewelry, how to tell diamonds from zirconias and cubic zirconias and glass, brass and base metals and different things. I watched people and I learned, how I just on a mission like a sponge. I was just soaking up information and knowledge everywhere I went, everywhere that I went that somebody was doing something that I wasn't always already doing. I watched them and learned how to do things. And I began to sell jewelry. I sold real gold. I sold real diamonds. And, people, when they see that you're interested in something, people don't mind and we'll help you to do different things if you really want to. But if you just half stepping, like I say, my mom, when we was kids, when she raised us up, when we were just little bit of kids and growing up and got a little bit older, she taught us how to wash our clothes. She told us that, we should take interest in grooming ourselves, combing our hair, make sure we took baths or showers or whatever, make sure we had clean clothes, taught us how to iron, how to cook, just in case if we got older and didn't marry, we would know how to cook for ourselves, we know how to clean for ourselves, we know how to wash our clothes and, you know, and watching my father, a lot of times your children are watching you, fathers or dads or husbands. They're watching you and they're learning. The males, the little boys is learning how to be men's. The little girls is watching mom and aunts and grandmamas learning how to be ladies, young ladies, and, not just a lady, not just a man, but respectable, honorable men's that and women's to be known for what they say is what they mean, and what they mean is what they say, and mean what they say, and do what they say. Don't just, you say, I've heard people say, don't do what I do what I say. But I believe in treating people the way I want to be treated. And if you do that, in a lot of cases and a lot of times, you'll find yourself in a better place and a better person. Here at the village, we teach us martial arts. We have an entrepreneurship program going on. We bake, we cook, we work, we collaborate with other businesses as well. We just do a host of different things. We help to build positive leaders. We have a slogan as well, say, lend a hand. So each one reach one, each one teach one. Like I said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right here at the village, our Cumalan village, we have had doctors, lawyers, principals, black belts, police officers has come out of here, truck drivers, just a host of different people have learned different things right here at the village. I've learned a whole lot myself. And I went from learning to instructing to now I'm an overseer. I oversee operations. So God has truly been good to me. And as you often hear me say, my story is from which I came. You don't know my story. And if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, where would I be? Would I be one of those guys out there? I don't even look down on them. I just wish and hope that they could make a better decision and could pick up the pieces and move on in their lives. Hope I said something to encourage, to give you something to think about. Remember, here at the village, each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. Thank you for listening to John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience. Have a great day.
John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m. Akulan Village's activities and amenities: air hockey, pool table games, video games, foosball, karaoke, movies, TV, cafe. Located at 7701 Harbor Avenue in Detroit, Michigan, 48213. For more information or to schedule, call 313-921-1616, 313-921-1616. Credit cards, checks, cash apps, and Zelle accepted. It's our pleasure to serve you. Culinary pleasure. Have your next social event here at Aquilalon Village, Recreation, Entrepreneur Cafe, Culinary Pleasure, Recreation, Education, Culture. For more information, call 313-921-1616. 313-921-1616. John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Delicious popcorn.
Join the V-Mogul Club ADI Virtual Acting Group from anywhere in the world. All are welcome. Donate and subscribe to support and access our entertaining dramas. Email londondoris@gmail.com. That's LONDENDORIS @gmail.com. Or call 248-701-0885 or 1-800-875-0674.
Donate anytime at LONDENWA. That's Cash App, LONDENWA. Thank you for your support.
And this morning's Tasty Tuesday chef and restaurant already up and at 'em, hard at work. The breakfast griddle is going. The burger grill is fired up, and you'll probably smell it in the neighborhood. If you do, stop on in. You will not be disappointed. Slide in for sliders at this Detroit community staple.
Ooh, the aroma from our classic recipe has been filled the neighborhood of Brightmoor and on the northwest side of Detroit over 55 years.
If his sunny disposition didn't give it away, Mike Williams is the owner of Sonny's Hamburgers, a place he's called home since he was a kid.
I started working here when I was 14. Yep.
16 years later, he's in charge and expanding with a food truck, almost road ready. But back to the burgers.
We are known for our classic burger that comes with ketchup, mustard, grilled onions, and pickle.
4 toppings, local 4. That's the way we like it.
We also have a large burger that's about a half a pound of meat, and we have a double burger that's 2 large patties stacked on top of one another.
Also between the buns, you'll find fried fish or fried chicken. So what's Sonny's secret to 55 years of success?
All our meat is hand rolled in-house. It's fresh. We get it daily. We slice our onions every day, and that's the secret to our recipe.
So simple. And while you can have a burger for breakfast and brunch, there are other classical fitting options.
Did you want cheese on it? Yeah. Yep, sausage, egg, and cheese.
Hamburgers, 4 ingredients, the double burger, the half pounder that has Jason Carr's name written all over it.
I like a half a pound. That would be lunch and dinner.
Well, being that it's a food truck, they should have pulled right on up to the plaza here.
Right.
I'd love to have restaurants coming back for Tasty
Not ready
Tuesday.
yet.
Maybe food
Yeah.
trucks would be a great idea.
Hi, is Mike available?
Yes, 1 second.
Thank you.
Hello?
Recording us right now because I want to know that the truck is available. This is London on the phone with Mike. Mike, the owner of Sonny's. Mike, is the truck up and running now?
Yes, everything is up and running. We ready. We have burgers going, and they smell the aroma in the air.
All right. Well, this is the after fact. You saw the video with the Sonny's hamburger, but now you're here from Mike. Everything is up and running and ready to go. Thank you, Mike. This is London. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Thank you. See you. Come visit us.
I will. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Next time you need a sweet treat for your special event, birthdays, parties, or just a little treat for yourself, connect with Millie's Munchies. That's right, remember Millie's Munchies. Cheesecakes, cakes, cupcakes, cookies. Give them a call or leave a message at 248-818-7290. That's 248-818-7290. Or email mildredmarion56@gmail.com. Sugar-free options available and catering in select areas. That's Millie's Munchies.
Akubalon Village presents youth field trip events Fridays 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. ages 5 to 17. $10 per person. Minimum 10, max 15. Saturdays and Sundays 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. $200. Minimum 10, max 15. Includes a Kubalon special, hot dogs, chips, and punch. Akubalon Village's activities and amenities: air hockey, pool table, table games, video games, foosball, karaoke, movies, TV, cafe. Located at 7701 Harbor Avenue in Detroit, Michigan, 48213. For more information or to schedule, call 313-921-1616. 313-921-1616. Credit cards, checks, cash apps, and Zelle accepted. It's our pleasure to serve you. Culinary pleasure. Have your next social event here at Akubalon Village. Recreation, Entrepreneur Cafe. Culinary pleasure. Recreation, education, culture. For more information, call 313-921-1616. 313-921-1616.